In many schools of herbology, including TCM and Ayurveda, you are required to learn a lot of herbs and herbal formula before you can practice as a herbalist. This is a top-down approach. There is a clear curriculum of study, what to study and what to know, then eventually you started to practice. In my approach, I always reject this kind of top-down approach. If you are a full-time student, it is okay for you to spend a few years focused on your mind and attention to study the herbs and the body system, understand everything, and then started to practice. There is nothing wrong with this system. The only problem is it demands a lot of dedicated time and many long years of study before you can become a herbalist. However, when you have a job and a business at hand, you have to manage the finance in the family, you have so many commitments in life, you do not have few solid years of full focus to study the herbs. This kind of top-down approach seldom work for you. I think a better approach is action first. Then we talk about a good approach and big goal later. As I discussed with you in my past video, when studying herbs, you apply the knowledge immediately, then learn all the herbs later. You may ask, how can it be possible? You are supposed to learn many herbs and many herbal formula before you can become a herbalist, like? How to apply the herbs in the first day of learning when so many herbs are not learned? And is it not risky to apply the herbs when you do not know it well? Is it okay to practice herbalism when you don't even know how to diagnose the patient? The answer is an affirmative yes. Look at my father. He did not even complete his primary school due to war. The type of herbs that he applied are well under 30 types. And the most applied herbs are only a couple of it. Even at my young age now, very quickly I learned almost all of them. And yet my father was a herbalist, treating many day-to-day problems of the villagers, like fever, dysentery, stomach ache, even chronic disease, like kidney failure that lead to the swelling of legs, wounds due to diabetes, and etc. I must say, he was a successful herbalist. My mother knew even less herbs. Yet, she is a specialist in the application of vinegar, treating very serious infection, applying a vinegar on the yeast fermented bread and apply to the infected area. I see with my own eye many testimony for this. And treating serious throat infection by pounding the Euphorbia thymifolia, a small herbal plant that always grows between the stones, which I'm going to teach you in future, with vinegars and put in a green cloth, then inserted into the mouth of the patients. He also brings down the fever by pounding the bitter leaf and vinegars and put in a pouch and rub the body. A much better way than simply put water on the body to cool down the temperature. My mother also did not complete the primary school due to financial constraint. Both she and my father were self-study very hard to learn the Chinese language and able to read a newspaper and reading some novels, but far from being called a herbal scholar. Yet many problems in the village were treated by both of them. I remember well, when I was still young, due to financial constraint, my grandma used to bring some goods to the villages, trade the eggs and chicken or duck from the villages and brought to town to sell them. And one time, on her way back, he was soaked wet by the rain and developed a serious fever. After the fever, suddenly dementia set in. The time he is well over 60, okay, and he became forgetful and searching for things aimlessly, walking here and there. At the time, I stayed with my grandma, and this alarmed me. Quickly, I informed my father. He said, if not treated immediately, the dementia will become permanent. He brought some herbs from the herbal shop and treated her. Within half a day, my grandma became sober again. After that, lived a normal life without problem. My father did not even go to the formal school and learn hundreds of herbs before he became a practical herbalist. This type of herbalist, we call them simple herbalists, with only a few herbs and herbal formula at hand, treating the day-to-day problem, like fever, headache, stomach aches, and etc. Come back to the accent. In the early day, we only have RG and GL. Can we open a health center with only RG and GL? The answer is an affirmative yes too. In 1993, when DXN started to operate, We only have RG and GL, nothing else. During my long year of study about Ganoderma, I found that Ganoderma is extremely good in detoxification of the body toxin to balance back the body. As all the health problems with many people are caused by toxin and imbalance in body, then theoretically, RG, which is good to detox, GL, which is good to balance back, we should be able to operate a health center with RG and GL alone. Then in 1993, I put my theory to test. It really works. As we are not treating disease, I call the center nutritional center or health center. We never call them clinic, It is not a clinic. It's just a nutritional center. And many of the health issues are addressed. More and more people come to our center. That time I developed the GANOTHERAPY system and then the hexagenous reflexology. I was able to diagnose the patients. But RGGL remained the only products that I could provide. I still remember when I visited various DXN center, at least 20 to 30 people come for health consultation. I only have RG and GL to my disposal. I give you some testimony. There was one serious asthma patient. He was a single seller of one company. Due to attack of asthma, every week he was taking medical leaves, absent from the job. He told me his boss is very kind and never take action on him, but he felt bad because he could not work normally. And when the asthma attack, he had to spray Ventolin to ease the wheezing, which at many times not so effective to him. I checked his health history. When he was around 5 years old, he suffered from some high fever. Then one worker of his father, who apparently know nothing about treatment of fever, soaked him in a tub of cold water. Since then he developed asthma. When he grows older, the asthma becomes worse and worse. By the time he met me, already in his mid-30s, the face is yellowish and the metabolism is extremely weak. When he was 5 years old, most probably he was suffering from external fever, which we call exogenous fever, which you will learn in this hexagenous system. By right, to induce sweating to detox the body through skin and reduce the body temperature. When soaked in cold water, the toxin cannot get out from the body and attack inward. In this case, it attacked into the lung and caused asthma. I told him he should detox the toxin in the lung. His economy is not too good. Only managed to consume 6 RG and 6 GL per day. Even that, his reaction was very strong. He started to vomit. He told me he vomited around 3 bowls of phlegm a day and frightened him a lot. I told him this is extremely good signs of detox and he should proceed. He vomited for around 3 days. Every lot of flames came out. He even joked with me. He is so skinny, and from where so much flame could vomit out? Anyway, he believed in me and continued to take the products. Around 1 week, his asthma stopped and never happened again. He resumed work without any health problem. No more MC and he is happy. Eventually, he became a full-time DXN member. There was a case in Hong Kong. About 20 old people come for the health consultation. That time there was a young lady requested to meet me personally. This is quite normal for many people as they did not want to let people know their health problem. She was beautiful and dressed up, very neat and modern. But when inside the consultation room, she kept quiet and very reluctant to talk. Immediately I'm alarmed. He's having emotional problem. He just stretched out his hand and asked me to check her pulse only. Never told me what was her problem. When I checked her pulse, it was tense and straight like a guitar string. That could be due to 2 problems. One is the intero or body intermediate section, where liver and stomach were facing problem, but it normally caused pains. Other cause was severely tense emotion. I asked her whether there are any body pains, especially around the chest area. She answered there's no pain. Then I told her, ma'am, you are too stressed. What's the problem? Hearing my words about her being stressed, her eyes reddened and tears comes out. He asked whether she could tell me a problem, which actually did not have anything to do with health issue. I assured her it would be P&C, and she was free to tell me. Her husband is taking good care of her and gave her 3 million Hong Kong dollars and asked her to keep it for emergency and do not spend the money. But she invested in the share market. Then the market collapsed, no? And he lost all the money. At the time, 3 million Hong Kong dollar was a huge sum, no? She was extremely worried, as one, the husband know it, may divorce her out of anger. She could not sleep well and always having nightmare. Then she asked me what to do now. I told her, when we invest, sometimes the investment does well and we make money. Sometimes the investment do badly and we lost money. I told her the story of DXN. Sometimes we make a bad decision to invest into some project. Something went wrong and I lost more money than her. That is part of the risk of any investment. So she should not keep thinking about the losses. Then she asked how to face her husband then. I told her to treat her husband nicely with a smiling face. Because at the time she met me, she never smiled. If she did the same to her husband, then it was more serious than the losses in the share market. Wait till the time when the mood of the husband is good, then tell him, you did some investment in the share market, the investment turned sour and you lost the money. She was still worried and asked what if the husband refused to forgive her. I told her, man will always forgive a woman. There is understanding and apologetic. If the husband really loves you, he will forgive you for sure. One time she did not forgive, never mind, serve him well and ask for forgiveness again. After a few asking, he sure forgave you. Then I advised her to take RG and GL to calm down the mind and practice reverse counting like in our Sunya classes. On my next trip to Hong Kong, she came to see me again. This time she was smiling and her face was shining like a beautiful film star. She told me she cried and asked for the forgiveness from her husband. The husband not even blinked his eyes and said the same thing as I said. When investment went bad, we lost money. And immediately gave her another $3 million again. This time remind her not to spend or invest the money. Keep it for emergency. If need money, ask her husband to help rather than take the risk in the share market. He just came to say thank you to me. So you see, sometimes with RG and GL alone, together with some Sunya reverse counting, we are able to treat emotional stress. Even with only RG and GL, many therapists reported to me about their fantastic finding. There was also one old therapist from Hong Kong, came all the way to Malaysia to meet me because RG and GL were doing wonder for his patients. I actually learned 3 things from him. First was a mega dosage. She was running a cancer care center and gave to serious patients 60 RG and 60 GL per day. Even myself was shocked by this high dosage at the time. I asked him, they was critically ill, how to digest so many capsules. He said, no worry, first remove the capsule, then put in an ultrasonic machine. He bought a small ultrasonic machine, which the jeweler used it to clean the jewels. He asked the RG powder and a few cutting of ganoderma for me. First, he asked me to taste the cutting of the ganoderma, which of course I know the taste very well. Then he put the cutting in the ultrasonic container and vibrate the gano cutting with warm water for about 20 minutes using the ultrasonic. When he took out the cutting and asked me to taste it again, it is completely tasteless and flat. That means the content of ganoderma is dissolved in the water. It was a very amazing demo to me. For the first time, I saw people making extraction like this. For the water was only lukewarm. This is a kind of low temperature extraction. Later I tried it with various dry herbs. For sure enough, can extract well this way. Even with room temperature water, it extracts well. So other than boiling the herbs, this is another way that we can extract the herbs and drink it. Then he put in the RG powder and vibrate it for 20 minutes. He told me, now the extraction make the absorption very easy. The patient can absorb it easily. Later he presented the ultrasonic machine to me and told me that he brought it as a present to me, which I appreciated it very much. Later I modified the method, asking member to put the powder and water in a mineral water bottle or DXN shaker and shake 100 times vigorously to make the mushroom powder easier for the sick patients to digest. For normal patients, this step may not be necessary. It's only for those seriously ill patients. So ultrasonic extraction was the second skill I learned from him. The third thing from him was the skin dialysis. He prepared the saline water, about 1% or more for the salinity, then warm the water and ask the patient to soak in the saline water. Maybe in the big tub or bathtub, soak for 45 to 50 minutes, then get up from the soaking. Warm the water and let the skin dry to breathe, then soak again. Can soak 4 to 6 hours in a stretch. During soaking, can read the books or listen to music. Our skin is an osmosis membrane, just like the membrane used in the dialysis machine. When soaked in long hours in saline water, can actually detox the body. Later, when I went to Indonesia, there were so many people who couldn't afford the cost of dialysis. I advised many doctors to let their patients try this. Many report back the results were good. The old therapist told me, now he used only RGGL to manage the cancer patients and did skin dialysis to detox the body, even they did not go for dialysis before this, or even they do not have any kidney problem. The result was fantastic, and so many patients come to him every day. Actually, ganotherapy is not promoted by me alone. Many therapists did feedback to me various methods they were applying. At one time in one gathering, one very old man came to me with beautiful beard and shining face even at his age. Asked me one question in Chinese. Lim, since you are expert in Ganoderma, let me ask you one question. What type of mouth Ganoderma can seal? I told him the mouth of the wound. In Chinese, they call the open wound as mouth of wound or sankou. He laughed happily with his beard shaking like in a wind, He praised me and said, it is good that I know this. And he gave me one more tips. If a patient is critically ill and cannot consume the Ganoderma, put it under the tongue. It helps. That time many members are squeezing in to ask questions. I turned my back to attend to one of them. Then I realized I have not said thank you to the old man, and quickly I turned my head back. The old man was not there anymore. It happened in just a very short time, and he just disappeared like an angel. Maybe he left the hall, but the door is very far away. She had to run to it in such a limited time, which was unlikely. In Sunya practice, sometimes the Sunyati did see the angels. Some see the big one, some see the small one. We used to ignore all of them, and we do not want the Sunyati to attach to them. The old man looked like the Taoist, always with a kind of smiling face, beautiful beard and white hair, smooth face, without a wrinkle at his age. I asked a member around me, where was the old man that talked to me just now? Their faces were blank. I did not remember seeing any old man. They are all around me, Okay? They do not see the old man. Maybe the old man is an angel. But to appear among so many people around in gathering, must be an angel that loves party. I am not too sure. I have meditated for decades and never see any angel. I said some of my students claim they saw it, and I asked them to always ignore them. In the ancient practice of Zen, anyone who claimed he saw an angel during meditation or performed any miracle, immediately he will be kicked out from the meditation hall. Because it disturbs all other people around when they hear it. The angels might have known that they are not welcome by me, so never appear in my meditation. But to appear in a noisy party was out of my expectation. Anyway, this is just my assumption. Maybe he was just a real old man and left quietly. I told this story in a ganotherapy session. One member was fascinated by it. One day, he received a call that his elder sister was very sick. The family had sent her to the hospital. He slipped into coma and never gained her consciousness again. The doctor said he was critically ill and no more hope for any discovery. So the family member decided to bring her home and notify all the close relatives to see her for the last time. The member remembered my put under the tongue story. With the consent from all the family members, he put the RG powder under the tongue of his sister in coma. And miraculously, she was awakened and out of coma. Even very weak, could ask the family member to usher her to toilet to pass urine. He recovered quickly with only RG and GL, and within 2 weeks, he was able to go to the wet market to buy the veggie and fish and started to cook for the family. The testimony excited everybody and traveled very far, even deep into the village. Then in one meeting at a small village, some villagers are gathered at a madrasa, listen to one DXN member, who was so excited with the story and raised his finger to emphasize his point. Do you know that even if a person is dying, you put a ganodama under his tongue, he may wake up? This was an overclaim, and later I forbade member to claim like this. Just after he saying, then suddenly there is a loud bang. All of them rushed out to see what happened. They found that one car had just collided with a cow, and the cow was lying beside the road dying. The villager pointed the cow to the DX member and told him, now this cow is dying. Put your ganodama under its tongue. If the cow gets up, we join you as your member. If not, sorry, we are going home. That DXM member was in a precarious situation. He had no choice but open a few RG powder and put it under the tongue of the cow. Again, miraculously, the cow slowly took out and walked securely away. The villagers were impressed. All of them joined as members. When this funny story reached me, I banned the matter for making such overclaim. Therefore, a dying man, you put a ganodama powder under his tongue, then he will wake up and greet hello to you. No such thing, Okay, you should not claim like this. In the early day of the DXN, they were full of funny stories. You should not listen while you are eating, lest your food will eject out of your mouth like a shooting star. The story and testimony from RGGR alone may fill up many volumes of books if we recorded it down. So definitely, you can open a health center with RG and GL per se. By now, I have discussed two types of herbalists. One is a simple herbalist like my parents, who know very few herbs and take care of the common day-to-day problems for the whole village. They may not be very well versed in medical science, but know enough to treat the common problems. The second is the ganotherapist, mainly using the ganodama, treat the body and not the disease, and manage health problems by detox and balancing back. That alone can operate independently as a herbalist and handle a wide range of health problems. I am talking with my own experience now. I practiced as a herbalist with only RG and GL for many years. Last is the general herbalist who learned the herbs and herbal formula widely and very skillful in using many herbs and herbal formula. By right, being a simple ganotherapist, you need not learn all the herbs. And for your information, many herbalists after practice ganotherapy, they throw away the herbs and only use RGGR in their practice. Then why should I teach the full course of herbology to you then? There are two reasons why I want to do this. First is, I wish to pass down the tradition of the fresh herbology. Of all the herbalists that I knew in my village, none of the sons and daughters taking up the role of herbalists anymore. If I do not pass it down, the art may be lost. Already there is one tradition that will be lost after me for sure. That is the dialect that I spoke with my father. My grandpa must have come from some very remote village in China, and until now I can't pinpoint where the origin is. One time I went to China and tried to find my ancestral place. There is somewhere in the Lufeng area in southern China. When I was there, I found the language they spoke was different from that of my father. They asked me to speak a few sentences. When I spoke, all of them burst into laughter. There is a dialect from the remote villages. Nowadays, even the Chinese do not speak the dialect anymore. They follow the language from the TV and the movie. There is more metabolism and people never laugh at you that you are from a poor village. In my town, only my father speaks the dialect with me. My son now goes for Mandarin, English and Malay. More than enough for him to study and forget about the dialect. So when I say goodbye to this world, this language will disappear along with me. For a dialect to disappear is okay. We still have Mandarin, Cantonese, and etc. But for the herbal tradition to disappear, I do not think it is a good idea. On top of that, the dean from one university in San Francisco also reminded me not to let this art disappear. Nowadays, if you study Ayurvedic or TCM, Mainly it is about dried herbs. You seldom see a fresh herbalist collect a fresh herb to treat patients. I agree. The era of going to the wild to hunt for the herbs may well be over. But we can use the fresh vegetables. We can plant the fresh herbs in the garden. We have no worry of how to get the fresh herb. I give you one testimony that just happened recently. One young family related to my family, suffering from stomach pains, always vomiting, sometimes blackout and fainted. He was already suffered for 2 years, going from one hospital to the other, and the condition became worse and worse. Even doctor cannot diagnose what the problem is. I asked them to bring the girl to me. Now at these hours of COVID, whole city is locked down. No? I'm thinking how to treat her. There's no way I can get any Chinese herb for her. Otherwise, I can have a few Chinese herbal formula for cases like this. I check her pulse and her tongue. It is just a simple exogenous problem for the stomach system, where the circulation of blood and food are blocked. Just using some vegetables that can improve exo circulation will solve her problem. If you do not understand this, do not worry. I shall cover it in this exogenous series. Now in the lockdown, I could not go out to get the herbs too. So I go to the kitchen, get one red onion, one fresh turmeric, one fresh ginger, and I went to my small garden and collected some leaves like the kaffir limes, turmeric leaf, bitter leaf, and ulam raja. That is Cosmos caudatus, a common wild veggie in Malaysia, also my father's favorite. The only dry herbs added in is DXN jujube and DXN goji, which can boost the metabolism in the stomach. Later, I demonstrated to them how to boil them into veggie soup. I told them, if my soup works, you should see the result in 20 minutes. That time the ladies were just vomited and very weak. No one will believe a serious problem for 2 years can be treated by just this day-to-day veggies from the kitchen and from the back of the house. After half an hour, the soup was ready and she drank a glass of it. After 20 minutes, she started to smile and say she felt very good. The pain in the stomach disappeared. No more nausea and a tendency to black out. She is a teenage girl. After some time, roam around the house, giggle like a normal young girl. Later, after 4 hours, she consumed another glass of the soup that was left over from the first boiling. The family members are shocked to see 2 years problem is solved in 20 minutes. And with just this veggie for the kitchens and the wild veggie for my small garden. I am going to pass this art to you. Start from the simple veggie from your wet kitchen to the wild veggie in your garden and the wild herbs in the open. Some of you may not be interested in herbs, I understand. Never mind about that. There is another important reason why I wanted to teach herbs. As I have repeatedly said, by studying herbs alone, you will never become a herbalist. You need to understand the language of the body. So when I teach herbology, I teach the body system first. So at least when you become a ganotherapist, you can understand the body reactions and what the indication comes with it. As in my previous example, how do I know that the toxin has attacked the lung, resulted in asthma, and how do I know the lady is worrying like that? All this because I can read the body language, and this body language can only be understood when you know the body system well. Say after you go through my herbology courses, even you do not want to be a general herbalist, but at least you become a good ganotherapist because you understand the body system well. Before I end this talk, let me make the summary. There are 3 types of herbalists. One is the simple herbalist. I know a few herbs to treat day-to-day problems. Second is the ganotherapist, who manage a wide range of health problems by detox and balance back the body. Last is the general herbalist that learn many herbs and herbal formula, using the wet veggie from the kitchen to the dried herbs from the pharmacy. On the way to present the course, I'm going to teach you all 3 systems to you. The advantage of my teaching is that you apply the art from the very first day you learn it. See, we are only using mushroom or vegetables. There is absolutely no harm in using them. No? And you are free to try it, first for yourself, then for your family, and then extend to others. See you soon in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.